To our University President, Father Francisco Estefa, to the Vice President of Academic Affairs, Brother Carl Minos Molina, to the Program Head of the College of Health and Sciences of Medical Technology, Professor Rosemary Sim, to our esteemed guests, Honorable Marian M. Tantinko and Professor Gemma Kitane, to the faculty and staffs of Medical Technology Department, parents and guardians, fellow medical technologists, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Rather than a testimonial, I would call this a privileged speech, because I'm privileged enough to be here right now and to speak in the front of you all. Privilege, according to the dictionary, is a special right, advantage, or something regarded as a rare opportunity. My journey up to now has been riddled with these privileges that were given to me. So allow me to tell you a bit of my story. I was born in November 15, 1993. Yes, I'm old, guys. Firstborn of Mr. Rizalino Gahit and Mrs. Juanita Gahit, my mother, the dragon. 2 years after I was born, my parents left me to my grandparents because my mother wanted to pursue her studies and my father was working on the dam and irrigation system in Pilar. My grandparents did a fine job in raising me, as you can see. At 4 years old, my mother took me to enroll at Tirol Advanced Learning Center. Unfortunately, I only studied for 2 months because we could not afford the tuition fees, which was 400 pesos that time. So I returned to my grandparents and studied at Zamora Daycare Center in Pilar, which among the 34 kids, I was the top student. I was intelligent since the young age. Then around 5 years old, they brought me back to the city to study. We lived in a one-room laundry shop of my uncle because we had no house. Fortunately, my uncle supported my education and I was able to study at Bohol Wisdom School, a known school for the rich kids. Not rich. During my elementary years, there were times when my breakfast was noodles and the extra noodles was made to be my lunch in school. I could still vividly remember that it was placed in a square lunchbox. The funny thing was, during lunchtime, I avoided the other students and their yayas and guardians eating lunch because they had like good food. So I stayed in between the cars in the car park, and there where I ate. The funny thing with noodles, when it becomes cold, it takes shape of the box. So when you pick up the noodles, it stays as a square and it does not taste good. But there are also times when I ate with my classmates. But that was when my viand was better, dried fish. The good thing with rich kids is that they don't always eat dried fish. So they traded their food with mine. Thanks to the economy that time, 1 dried fish was equal to 1 pork chop. So I ate good that time. Ever since I went to Bohol Wisdom School, I was always reminded not to fight nor to involve myself with other people because we could not afford to pay for any damages. So they say you should learn from your mistakes, but the difficult part when you are just being supported by other people, not by my parents in your studies, is that you are discouraged to make mistakes. In short, you cannot make mistakes. That was why my mother was an extreme disciplinarian. Oftentimes, I was driven out the house at night because I forgot to make my school assignments or anything about school. Yeah, well, staying out in the dark made me befriend the dark, so I was not scared of the dark anymore. Well, my mother was not scared of anything or anyone. She once scolded me at school, which everyone witnessed. She threw all my things in the middle of the playground where I stayed, where I fixed my things, and she left me. This went on until high school, where she toned down a bit. When I mean a bit, a bit. I went through high school with no complications, just went a bit edgy teenager, a bit rebellious, a bit emo, but all fixed by my mother's powers. Please don't judge my mother as a hideous monster. Of course, I now understand why she was like that, because of the agreement she had with my uncle that I should be doing well in class, or else he will not pay for my tuition fee and my other school stuff. After high school, I went and took exams in a lot of schools and miraculously passed them. I took an exam in Ateneo, which I passed, Siliman, Veles, Sibudok, Xavier, and Claretian Missionaries. If I did push through with my full scholarship in Claretian Missionaries, maybe I would have been a priest by now. But God's call became a missed call. Of all the schools that I passed in, I opted to go to Siliman University, where I took medical technology, which I had no idea what to expect. I lived alone in Siliman, had an apartment for myself. It sounded so good and was excited. The first taste of freedom was intoxicating, but I didn't know that the worst has yet to come. The excitement I felt at first was only momentary. There were times when I couldn't eat because I was already late. I didn't know about budgeting, so I had more months before the end of my money. Believe it or not, there were times when I was on a water diet because all I had to eat was water. And anyway, the drinking water was free in Siliman. The pile of laundry in my room was mountain high, so I had nothing to wear. I had to go over the soiled clothes and find something cleaner to wear again. You may all think that living alone is such an amazing thing. Though the thought of being able to get away from your family and live independently, that's the most absurd thought that I had. In my third year of school, I broke down and suffered depression. I cried every day. On my last month of school, I was not able to sleep. I would just sit down and cry, then realize that morning already came. It was at that time that I decided to quit school and go home to Bohol to be with my family. As if fate was playing with me, just when I thought that I would be with them again, their immigration papers were approved. And this time it was them who had to leave. And the sad part was I could not go with them because I was already 20 years old. That was then I enrolled at Holy Name University and had to start all over again because the medical technology program was still new at that time. Despite of everything, I was still determined to be a medical technologist. Though I was extremely underloaded, fortunately failed. Maybe I was too complacent that even if I had only a few subjects, I did not take it seriously. Well, maybe it was my disappointment that made me perform less. However, the failure did not stop me from being a medical technologist. I pushed through with it. But the hope that I had for so long almost died down when another blow came. My classmates could not see me in a bad shape, but deep down I was broken. Too emotionally broken that I even questioned my worth. But then God is so good that He made ways to let me stand. He showed His kindness through the people who believe in me. I was able to graduate. My mom went home just to attend my graduation, even if the fare was sky high. It is said that life is an up and down. So after my downs for multiple times, I managed to go up and pass the medical technology licensure exam. If you may ask, where are the privileges in my story? Privilege may vary depending on one's perspective. I may not have the privilege to be financially stable nor excel in a class academically, but everything I went through was a manifestation of other privileges that I have. I am privileged enough to be born in a poor family, for I have experienced having helpful relatives who can afford to pay for good education, and everything I had received is much more appreciated. I am privileged to have an extremely strict mother, for I have felt her love and devotion for me. All her time was only for me. I am privileged to be left behind by my family, for I have made good friends who helped me go through everything I have been and to experience being independent early. I am privileged enough to have failed, for I have seen how my instructors want me to give my best and value me as a learner. These are all the privileges that I'm truly proud of having, and I would like to thank all the people behind my initial success. My father, my mother, to my uncle who supported me, to my lola, Mama Suling, my alma mater, to the MedTech faculty, to my friends, and to all those who have been a part of who I am now. Life is not a race. Starting early, walking smoothly on the road, and finishing ahead will not determine our success. Our school has prepared us for life we will have ahead. Now it is up to us how we are going to make use of our lives. I know there are some of you who share more or less same sentiments, but let us all be reminded there is someone up there who sees us through thick and thin. Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 to 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." And that is the greatest privilege of all. To all medical technologists, congratulations, and thank you for being a part of my roller coaster ride. Since God has given us this gift, let us give back to Him and by serving Him well in our future workplace. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jano Gahit, RMT. And now we are here to witness